Well, you won't get a lemon from Toyota of Orange.
Wrestling buddies want to be your buddies.
Drug-free's the way to be.
What do you think you're doing?
Well, Miss Musso, we were just doing a promo.
Welcome to Home Wrestling League.
I am Penny Dreadful, joined by Drew, No Gimmicks Needed Radley, and Crystal the Casual at the Unicorn soundboard in the back. And this is Home Wrestling League, where we stand Mercedes Mone unapologetically. And if you didn't like it, go somewhere else. But first, we'll get into John Cena real quick. Because, of course, I didn't pay attention to the Oscars because it's been a long time since I cared about what's going on over there. Mostly it's just people, oh, great, you got, a little thing for your stuff. Great. All that stuff. And I was passing by Mark's desk and he showed me John Cena naked. And I was like, oh, God, whatever. And I just kind of ignored it and went about my business. And then the next day I was like, all right, I'm pull it up and see what happened. She's very cute, very funny. Very well done. I legitimately laughed because of the whole thing and Jimmy like, hey, that was the cue for you to come out, and then it's the whole thing. But the funniest thing was when he decided to go out and present in his little modesty pants or whatever they wear, and he said, costumes.
Costumes.
And it was so well done. I actually laughed. They're so important. And then all of this they're talking about John, and I forgot that Dwayne was even there. You better watch it. He's coming for your things.
It's funny because John Cena actually was naked underneath. So if you watch a video somebody took during the Oscars,
oh, no modesty shorts?
No.
He had a little thing in front though. He had it's like a single thing to cover the junk, but yeah, his butt was out.
Kind of like a modesty jockstrap that they wear?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's what it was.
Okay.
Because it looked like he had like a covering in front, but nothing in the back.
Yeah.
Well, that's the best part.
So what usually happens, because working in film and shit, you've seen this. Men wear a sock on their genitals.
It's like a nude colored sock.
It's a nude color sock.
Yeah.
So like
Is it a crew sock?
It's like a tube. Yeah, it's like a tube sock, but it's like a.
Are they specially made for this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So it doesn't.
There's special,
the other
special made
person.
penis socks.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like you haven't lived until you've edited a scene with somebody with one of those on.
And then I know for women sometimes they have a whole setup that's got like hair on it too, called a merkin.
A merkin?
Yeah.
But like with women, there's like a border. Like
there's like a border and it has like hair.
No, there's like I've heard of some instances having there's like a piece of wood that goes in between the man and the woman.
Like a I don't know if it's wood. It might be cardboard.
Oh,
it might be cardboard or something, but it's like
a pubic wig, an artificial hairpiece for the pudendum. A pubic wig. That's hilarious,
isn't it?
Goes well with like gherkin, pickles.
Imagine striving all your life to trying to win an award, and then you get the award from naked John Cena.
Naked John Cena.
Right. Wait,
the biggest night of your life.
The biggest night of your life.
And it's naked John Cena giving you the award.
It's like, I mean, like you spent months and months watching Emma Stone be Frankenstein who fucks. And then
Frankenstein who fucks.
That's what it
literally
is.
what it is. Like I've watched it. I'm like, that's literally what this movie is about.
Is it good?
Yeah, it's solid. Okay. Like it's different.
I watched like 5 minutes of it and I was like, ooh, this is gonna need like more of my attention than I can give it right now.
It's a solid movie. It's just funny that I'm glad that Holly, the woman who won, had such a fucking good sense of humor. it would be one of those weird situations where if she didn't have a good enough sense of humor, it would have been a lot of people online just being like, I can't believe John Cena ruined her moment. The Rock was there with
Who did he present with?
Bad Bunny, and it was Bad Bunny's birthday.
Oh,
Right.
Oh,
We're
how
sitting there watching
wonderful.
it, and Drew goes, "Oh, look at these two professional wrestlers."
Right?
I had forgotten about that. But apparently he
Oh
was
my
pretty good,
God.
wasn't he? Bad Bunny, wasn't he good?
Oh yes,
Oh,
very.
yeah.
His little
That match
stint,
was
yeah,
incredible.
everyone was like, he was so
Oh
good.
yeah, everyone, every appearance he's made, I've always been impressed.
It's the greatest entrance I've ever seen, where
The back
everybody, where everyone
Mhm.
knew that fucking song, and he came
Mhm.
out with the drone, and then
Mhm.
the whole crowd was rocking, and you're like, oh my
Mhm.
God, this dude's a
Yeah,
fucking. I mean, he's the biggest artist in the world, so
yeah.
No, everybody knows who that man is. Remember I told you, I would see there was a time when you couldn't get his Crocs.
He
You
had
remember when
branded
those
Crocs.
Yes, there were
My
Bad Bunny
God.
Crocs, and like they
He-
had
yeah,
dude, the kids went crazy for those things.
he's had
Like,
Adidas shoes, like
mhm.
he's one of them ones.
Oh, they're
Everybody
actually
loves
kind of
that guy.
cute. I'm going to take a quick moment to encourage the young men of the internet who feel a certain way about John Cena embarrassing himself or doing a humiliation ritual. It's super amazing to get a couple of fucking clues and find your masculinity and or femininity or femininity outside of things like, I don't know, everything you consume. Man, it's a lot nicer than you think it would be. So I don't know. He's always been silly. He's a fucking wrestler. All of this is silly theatrics. Like, come on.
It's not so much a humiliation ritual. I mean, this guy lost to Kevin Federline in a wrestling match, so like it doesn't get worse than that.
In the E?
Oh yeah,
Oh my
2006.
God.
He lost a match to Kevin Federline.
What event was that?
It was a Monday Night Raw.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah,
I gotta make a fucking note of that.
Kevin Federline came in and he was just talking shit, and then John Cena was just like, "I'll challenge you to a match." And then a couple weeks later, Kevin Federline showed up. Umaga basically fucked up John Cena, and Kevin Federline just crawled on him and got the win. And this was when John Cena was champion. Like this is the first
He
year.
lost to Federline while he held a championship?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So
see, that's the kind of stuff that would happen when Vince was around.
Exactly. I think this is a couple weeks before the Rosie O'Donnell Donald Trump wrestling fight.
Oh God.
But yeah, it's there. I've watched Raw for a long time. Like it's the doldrums. There's a lot of fucking doldrums.
Oh yeah. Yeah. There's a barrel and some stuff is on the bottom of it. Someone's scraping that shit.
Well, there's one episode that ends when Vince McMahon gets exploded, and then the next week Chris Benoit killed his wife, and then the other one was
right before that. Oh God,
that was literally the week before, and then there's another one where he's doing this cash giveaway when they first went to HD, and the set falls on him. He pretended to be paralyzed, and he was, instead of calling Triple H by his name to make it seem more real, he was just like, Paul.
Keep flying. Paul, you okay?
And then it cuts to black.
Oh God.
Yeah. So humiliation rituals, I understand when Cap Williams was talking about that, because there's a lot of black comedians that have to dress up in drag and do that. And to not make people feel weird, they're too threatening. It's like they make them put a dress on. But it's John Cena. John Cena is a white man, so like
a white man with every muscle clearly defined on his body, with a head like a cinder block. I don't think there's a way to humiliate that man.
Head like a cinder block.
I mean, it's a big rectangular
I
head.
get what you're saying. No, but yeah, it's like anybody acting like that, like emasculated him in some way. I'm like, no.
Mm-mm.
No, and like you said, he's always the man wrestled in jorts for God's sake. For how long?
That's what he said. That was part of the line.
Jorts.
Like, there's nothing more embarrassing than jorts.
There's two people that famously wore them in public as part of their persona: him and Kevin Smith.
Oh my god!
And he still does. You know, God bless him. The man loves his jorts.
Oh,
you know, you like what you like.
There was a time that Cena was just wearing. Well, I mean, I think he wears cargo shorts now, but.
I mean, the whole thing in the ring was always jorts and a hat.
Yeah,
like the wrist warmers.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
I mean, when he developed the character that he has, well, because he started off as the rapper.
Oh my god!
And that's really embarrassing. Like, that was humiliation ritual. If there's anything, come on, the way you started, bro, that was dumb. Thank God he took a left.
Well, I mean, that saved his career. Like, his initial gimmick was just a guy, and then
a guy.
a guy.
And then he started rapping, and then it got over, and then he released.
It got over as a joke, surely.
No, it got over, and he became a face, and then that's why he has the United States spinner belt, and then
that was a pretty cool belt.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
and then he released the no, he won WrestleMania 21. And that's why that's why he made the spinner belt. And then he released a platinum album.
Like, he called it platinum or became platinum?
No, it sold platinum. Like the You Can't See Me album. It's a John Cena album.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I still listen to some songs on there. They kind of go.
Do your top spot, and you not getting your number back. Chop down competition like I was a lumberjack. Clear out the club floor, we keep them coming back. Tough to bring down like an overweight running back.
But
really? Okay. Also, note to self. Put on John Cena's fucking rap album.
And then he became a Marine because he did the movie The Marine.
Well, he became a Marine after because of that movie?
Well, like his character,
like an actual one. Oh, okay.
Became a Marine where he would just like salute
America.
And that's why he salutes whenever he goes to the ring. And then he just became a dude that could wear every type of shirt possible and look like a rainbow. And then, ultimately he became the greatest. I say he's the best like company guy in the history of the WWE. Like, as many sacrifices as he's made, he's lost to Kevin Federline.
Yeah,
he let The Rock win that one once in a lifetime match. Then he allowed Vince McMahon to do it twice in a lifetime. He got like massacred by Brock Lesnar. Because like
and all this was before losing to Austin Theory of WrestleMania.
Yes, like The Rock, Stone Cold, like they wouldn't do half the shit he did. So I think Cena is the best company man.
That's true. Yeah.
You're like a sandwich. Half my Aztec.
Half Aztec, see?
Maztec.
Mi padre.
I like that.
Mi madre, Mayan.
I'm
Todo
Gancito.
Mexicano. Mexicano.
Gancito.
Sí.
Yeah, Penuilo. Whatever he is, it doesn't matter, because if I were to cut him open with a knife, a stone dagger, he would bleed red blood. But on the inside, it's blue. When it touches the surface of the air, it turns red. That's like you. That's like me. We all bleed the same on the inside and on the outside.
Speaking of Raw, I knew that Sammy would come out of that. With the win, you didn't?
No, I didn't. I thought Gable was gonna win. I thought Gable was gonna start off and just run the gauntlet. But once
it was a pretty fun match. I will admit that the big one from Australia, Bronson Reed, I think he went quicker than I thought he would.
Yeah, and that's why they gave him that spot where he beat Sammy up some more.
Yeah.
When they said that Sami Zayn is fasting for Ramadan. I'm like, oh, he's gonna fucking win this match. I mean, it's not like Vince where it's just like, what the fuck is Ramadan? But like when
exactly.
but
he would never do that.
Yeah, it was just like Ramadan. Is that a hotel? The Ramadan Inn?
Wait. Now I'm thinking, is it the Radisson or is it the Ramada? It's the Ramada, right? That's the hotel.
Yeah,
both of them.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm trying to remember. What was the R hotel one? Is that a hotel? Sorry,
that was the joke. Yeah.
Oh my god.
I knew Sammy would win.
Once Gable didn't come out, and then they had Sammy beat 2 people, I'm like, oh shit! So Sammy's definitely gonna win this.
I thought it was clear from jump, even before we opened that match, that Sammy would be there, that he would win, not because of the messaging that they've given us with Chad in the last, couple of months, which would of course be why we'd be like, hey, why not Chad? Because you guys have been telling us this is what he wants. But because they need a name for WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And Sammy's a bigger name than Chad. And that's not anything against Chad. It's just they haven't given him the chance to get there yet. It's the same thing with Rhea and Becky and Liv. Rhea and Liv have the story going into it, but Becky's the bigger name. It's always going to be that way. I wasn't at all surprised. At the end, I was like, "Oh, what's really going to happen here?" But I was pretty confident that Sammy was going to go.
Shout out to my man Bubsy. He basically had a tweet the other day that said, "Wrestling fans are fickle as fuck." Like he's learning real time that wrestling fans are fickle as fuck.
Well, I don't. What is the fickle part of it? Part of it, like I don't. And it's the same thing as before. It's not that we don't like you. It's not that we don't want to see you at Mania. It's not that we don't want you to have things. It's that it's not the right moment necessarily. And you've had an IC run before, and you've been telling us this thing with Chad for a couple of weeks, a good 8 weeks now. You've been telling us and hinting that you want to do something with Chad. I think that whatever ends up happening at WrestleMania, I don't necessarily see Sammy picking up that win.
Oh no, he's not. I think the next night, Chad's gonna win it. I think that will be the main event for the night after WrestleMania, which is always
on
the
Raw.
best.
I thought that they would probably take it to Backlash.
No, I feel like that would be a perfect time to do it because the Raw after Mania is always such a big deal, and it's honestly the Raw that everybody watches.
Yeah, that's true. Interesting. We need to start finding a way to keep track of what you're right about. Like maybe a gong or a bell or chime, like a master list or something. That would be amazing.
Shout out to my man KP. He's right all the time. Executive hater, but I'm right sometimes.
Pretty good, actually. I think you're always right.
I try.
Yeah.
No, he's usually right. It's kind of infuriating.
Well, how long do you think Gunther and Sammy's match will be? I think they've been working pretty good with him on the social media. I don't believe Sami Zayn has what it takes to be in my position. It is unrealistic. Good luck. And it was so funny because he was getting that interview backstage, and old girl's like, I forget her name, Jackie Revan. He's like, people are saying in the WWE universe that you could lose it. And he was like, who's that?
640 days as champion. No doubt it has been a run of epic proportions. I'm joined now by the Intercontinental Champion, Gunther. And Gunther, there are some who believe maybe you've become a little bit overconfident during this reign and are potentially underestimating the 6 superstars competing in tonight's gauntlet match. What do you have to say to that?
Who believes that?
Well, there's just been speculation in the WWE universe.
Whoever might believe that, it's none of my concern. I focus on my legacy and on the facts. 640 days ago, I beat Ricochet to become the Intercontinental Champion. And I took over the responsibility for myself and for the legacy of this great prize. And since then, I elevated this title to heights never seen before.
He gave her, that's not my business. I'm the best. Good luck to him.
You're adorable.
Right.
Well, that's Gunther's thing where like anytime you see him, he always works very well with smaller guys because he's the only guy that's like a giant that makes people believe that like he is in peril from a person that's smaller than him. That's his gift.
3, 2, 1. Colt Cabana in Vienna. How are you, Colt?
Fantastic, baby. It's great to be here in the ring of Europe. ROE, baby. Vienna, Austria. Me and Big Van Walter here, baby. We are here on a mission. A man on a mission. Men on a mission. We don't have the colored skin, but I got a big black man here and a skinny white rapping Jewish fella named Colt Cabana. Swiss money holding. You think you hold all the money in Europe, baby? Well, I know for a fact that there's some euros tonight that we're gonna grab and take all the way to the bank. I have to save something. Yeah. Beautiful.
Well, to go back to what they were talking about, Trips took my criticism from last week and started, I don't know, booking some actual matches. So updated card, LA Knight versus Styles. Yeah. So I guess LA Knight's gonna come out every week and say and cut his promo saying how much he hates him, and then Styles will respond on Twitter or anywhere else. Just anything really quick, 5 minutes. You got to do it. We got Jimmy and Jay. Finally, I still really wish it were Jay going for the IC title. It's really annoying, but I understand that, you know, this is the place to bring together Jimmy and Jay, and that's going to be a good one. And then Logan Paul and KO for the United States strap, but they went ahead and threw in Orton. That is lazy. Holy shit. Why? Is it just me or is it fucking lazy?
Well, I mean, with the reason they added Orton was he fucked him over in the Elimination Chamber. That's what it is.
Yes,
and then,
it is, but I'm like, it's that also feels kind of very rushed. Like we've got like all the. It kind of feels like, I didn't plan a wedding because I just went to City Hall. Fuck that. But it kind of feels like when you're planning a wedding and you have a bunch of people you need to seat and nobody likes each other, so you just gotta slam them together and be like, who's gonna sit where? I got these 3 guys, they gotta go somewhere, just do that. Okay.
where the fuck do all these people from Table 7 go?
Exactly. Like who's left?
And then there's,
I don't know.
And then there's always one table where it's like, who invited these people? Who even knows it? There's always who are these people at the wedding?
Yes. And then this year's merry-go-round of tag teams, a 6-pack ladder match. Okay, so you mean to tell me they had this little bracket they were doing? There's gonna be another bracket next week, and maybe another one after that, and then we're supposed to see 5 teams in addition to Judgment Day at WrestleMania in a ladder match. Is that what I'm?
Yeah, just get them all in there. Just put them all in there.
I didn't even know you guys had 5 tag teams in addition to the Judgment Day. Like, what the fuck is happening?
I guess, okay, so I think, I guess it's going to be Legado del Fantasma.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Going to face New Cash Republic.
Mm-hmm.
Next week, right? Uh-huh.
But yeah, that's the only one I hadn't heard of was the Legado del Fantasma. I was like, oh, okay, Mexicans.
I
maybe.
Was happy to see
like,
them.
maybe.
I more expected LWO to pick it up because, you know, they're just a little more established with the fans, I guess. But I liked seeing Legado pick it up because, you know, they're getting called up and all that kind of stuff, be on TV more. That was pretty cool. And I guess, you know.
I love their name, League of Ghosts.
Right? Yeah.
Porque mi carnal Rush lo dice, pero realmente en esta etapa no me interesa mucho ganar. El día de hoy, lo importante era demostrar que la rivalidad de Rey Escorpión y Psycho se está elevando a niveles que es lo que queremos. Les prometí que este año.
Want to move on to the dub.
Yeah.
We got Dynamite to talk about. Was Darby rocking the Darkman look? Because for a second, it looked like Darkman to me. And then I was like, maybe he means Rorschach, but I don't know. Which one it's supposed to be? Is there anyone in wrestling more dramatic than him?
Well, Sting Sting would just be an emo kid, just hang out in the shadows.
So that's true. Yeah.
And then Raven would have these long soliloquies where
yes, God, I forgot.
It was just a kid that was abused by his father.
Yeah.
And then, you know, he would have a bunch of hangers on. And
he's like Bender. Like Thunder from the Breakfast Club if he became a wrestler.
Kinda. Like Raven's story is kind of weird because it's like they didn't want to say his character got molested, but like it's
That
more
was the hint the whole
implied.
time. Yeah.
Yeah. And he just had hangers on. There like Billy Kidman, when he was with him,
Yeah.
he was called Sick Boy.
Yes.
And then his fucking finisher was called the 7-year itch. And like being a kid, I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? Now being an adult, I'm like, oh, he's on heroin.
Heron. Wait, did Darby actually break his foot before, or did they actually do him a favor and break his foot that night?
Well, God did him a favor because he was gonna climb Mount Everest, and like that stopped him. He was just like, "Hey, do you want to be like Green Boots? All right, here's this broken foot. I'll see you in a year."
See you in a year.
That
Maybe
is
you'll
still one of
change
the
your mind
wildest
by then.
things when you bring it up. It's the fact that there's like dead people on that mountain that have nicknames because they're markers because they've just been there for who knows how fucking long.
Exactly.
But there's Green Boots, and then there's what, Sleeping Beauty, I think there's one named.
I guess it's like a couple feet away from the summit. There's just like a dead body there too. Like mentally, you have to be strong to even.
Frozen since 1996. Christ Almighty.
That's
and no one's going up to get him.
Well, yeah,
So
that's
they're
what that movie Everest is about. Is about the 1996 snowstorm, and like how were some of the Sherpas and some of the climbers were stuck there, and a lot of them died.
Ugh.
The former Brisbane plumber is drawn to these mountains, but frostbite has already cost him all 10 toes and much of both feet.
But this black mark here represents the frostbite that I received in the last few days.
Good heavens, Michael, I mean, is it really worth it?
Well, you'd have to think, looking at it, that it's not, but we all realise the risks involved, and you accept those risks, or you don't play the game.
The fact that people pay for this quote unquote privilege is insane to me. It's in the $50,000 range to get everything to do this. Like that's, I don't know.
It's an interesting guess. Huh.
Yeah, because you pay the $50,000 and then you have to get medically checked, and then that's how the Sherpas get paid. There's only been like 21 people from America to die, but you know, it would be fucked up if Darby Allin was just like, "Hey, I've crashed through glass, I've done all this shit, and then how am I gonna die?"
Yeah,
being
he's
pulled
like,
on Everest.
Oh, he's like, I'm trying every other way to die, and none of this is working. So maybe that'll do it.
Like he got to go home to Gigi Dolan. Like, well, I mean,
yes, he did.
Like, take that. Like, well, yeah, they got divorced, but like, I'm just like, bro, like, sometimes you gotta take it easy.
Well, okay, broken foot, busted up. I hope this means we don't see him anymore until it heals. Because I fully expected it to not have to see him for maybe 3 weeks after, you know, just throwing himself through plate glass. But no, back out there. I don't know, Darby. I don't know what's the matter with you. But
wait, no, he broke his foot in the match.
He broke his foot in the match and Dynamite?
Yes. Because
oh my God.
In the first 2 minutes, what happens is he does a front flip, hits him, and then his foot lands the wrong way. So 2 minutes into the match, it broke.
Oh, shit.
And so he was wrestling on a broken foot the entire match after that.
Didn't he put his ankle in a chair?
Did you guys see
just for good measure?
So you guys know who Nyla Rose is?
Oh yeah.
She had apparently she quote tweeted Darby Allin saying the foot's really broke, and she said, "Feet on Maine, bro, you wild." That's funny.
And I thought it was weird because I was like, those are little baby feet. Whose feet are those?
Those are little baby feet.
I mean, he weighs
and
like
you're right. She does She does know how to be on that social media because her handle is Nyla the Riz Rose. I'm like, oh wow, okay, the Riz.
Has she been on Ring of Honor more?
Yeah, I think so. Because, well, I mean, to be honest, I'm not paying for Honor Club. I just remember seeing her.
I just hear it goes on later.
Yeah, I just remember
I hear
seeing
Athena
her attack
is,
Athena.
Carrying that on her back. So I hear. So long, bang bang, scissor gang. We hardly knew ye. Why would they start it if they gonna ruin it that quickly? I didn't even know they had merch. By the way,
Yeah,
like they didn't even have time to move enough of that stuff before they broke them up.
I mean, it was inevitable that shit was gonna happen. I mean,
Was
it's fucking
yeah.
Jay White. Jay White's a psychopath. Like that's his character. And you thought he was just gonna be, just like golly gee.
Exactly.
Like,
I did not buy it. I enjoyed it for a second. I was like, does this mean that he's supposed to be a face?
my favorite of all time was, I want to say, right before WrestleMania 32, Chris Jericho and AJ Styles had a tag team.
You want to see Styles and Jericho as a team?
And they had shirts pressed that just said Y2AJ.
Oh, brother.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
And then that week, he turned on him.
Like, come on. Was there RK Bro merch? Because that lasted a good long time.
Oh, yeah. Matt Riddle was on the interview saying that
that interview where he talked way too much.
In the interview, he was saying like how he was lucky to get the RK Bro 420 shirt like out, and they were gonna have him turn, or they were gonna have Orton turn on
naturally
Riddle.
Mm-hmm.
And then what happened was the popularity of that shirt kept them together for like
really.
Yeah, when Vince McMahon smells money, he's just like,
you're gonna have to keep doing this. Oh.
It's gonna have to make me more money that I don't pay to people whenever they sign NDAs.
Make me more money to hoard. Real quick, rumor and innuendo got on my fucking nerves again. Talking about why the Bucks shouldn't wrestle on free TV. But let's think about this. I can't remember a time where there's been like a full-time wrestler on a roster who's also been an executive of that company and has to kind of balance that that line between, what they have to do. Is there anyone that's coming to mind that has been that?
When like Triple H has like slowed down wrestling completely, but like he would always come back and wrestle like 1 to 2 matches. That's the closest person in mind. But when Kenny, the Bucks, Cody all started up, like that was the first time that's truly
that's the only
ever
they're
happened.
the only ones that I can think of.
Because most of the times
full-time wrestlers.
Because most of the times, like the most you can do is be Booker. Like, if you're wrestling, you can also be the Booker. Like that's what happened with Flair. That's what happened with Kevin Nash. That's what happened with Kevin Sullivan. They were Bookers, and then they wrestled. But the day-to-day stuff it's just a lot harder.
Yeah. So I can't imagine why. Maybe from a business perspective, I can't think of why a wrestler who is also an executive in their own company wouldn't wrestle on their A show. It's your flagship show. Why wouldn't you appear? And I don't know, get in the fucking ring.
Did they actually say why they shouldn't be on?
No, they didn't get into it. He was just like, I don't understand why the executive vice presidents would wrestle on a free show. And I'm like, well, it's not like they're wrestling AEW Dark. And I'm sure whatever stupid things they had to say about Dark at the time. And I'm sure the Bucks worked their own Dark twice.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why wouldn't they appear?
I mean, I kind of understand it, because if you're doing it for, on the screen reasons,
yes,
the fact that
Yeah.
The fact that
it's
they
very much an on-screen reason.
the fact that the company fired CM Punk and then they took over his show, that's why I could be like, okay, I can understand that.
Of course, it works in a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
And especially works now with Okada, them bringing him on as part of the elites and kind of holding his hand as he's going out there, week to week. That makes sense to me. Maybe it's something I'm missing because I know those guys worked actually in the E and stuff like that and have this different business perspective. But I'm like, it doesn't make any fucking sense to me why the Bucks wouldn't wrestle on their own fucking show. If it were me, of course I'd wrestle on my own goddamn show. Whatever.
Hey, Alexis. Remember me? Mercedes? The one that broke up your correlation. What is it?
Coronation.
Hey, Alexis. Remember me? Mercedes? The one that broke up your coordination at breaking point? How did that feel, huh? Did it hurt? Did it sting a little? Well, that's how it feels every time you screw me over. Since the very beginning, I started like chaotic. You've been that.
You had it.
But moving on, top of the card, 100% pure standing. I did scream. I did pound my pillow. I loved it. Maybe there was a little bit of crying, emotional crying. Because she's finally back on TV. Not free TV, but TV.
She looks so
great.
good.
Oh, she looks so great. And oh my God, that whole big CE. I don't know if we're going to have a stand name, but I'm claiming it. CEO. I'm a CEO. I'm there.
CEO.
CEO. Don't it, girl? Oh, it goes so good. I was actually very surprised when she mentioned, talking about that Riho and Willow would be the main event. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? But okay, cook.
Yeah, like once that happened, I was just like, oh, she's gonna come back later. And
definitely had to be. Yeah.
The ratings weren't where they thought they were gonna be. And it's mostly because they just said they try to do the thing with CM Punk, but it's Sasha Banks. But you can't use the same thing with CM Punk because like it works. They should have said like, hey, Mercedes Mone is gonna have a statement, and then that maybe would have driven up more people. But yeah, they were just saying the ratings weren't where they wanted them to be, and that's
at
fine.
The top of the show or throughout the show?
Through the top of the show, that's the ones that count the most because those are the people that are coming in for Big Bang and then watching the show. I actually liked her theme before.
Money.
I did too. Yeah, I was getting used to it.
I like, samples, and it's a sample of I Want You Back by the Jackson 5. And then it's Funky Drummer, or not Funky Drummer. It's a Funky Worm from the Ohio Players, the horn part. And that's what makes Jump from Crisscross. That's both of the songs that make Jump from Crisscross. And
she
then
released it as a single. Is she doing that now, dude? Okay.
Yeah, but the first, I'm saying like the one that she used for like New Japan and all that stuff. That I personally think the reason why she couldn't do that was because the samples might not have cleared. So she came up with the CEO, the Ninth Symphony.
Yeah,
that's the song that they used. Which is funny because that is Gunther / Walter's theme.
Oh,
Like,
really?
yeah, like the beginning. Well,
You got a good ear for these things. I don't.
they changed it. They've changed it since he's become Gunther. But
Mhm.
when he was Walter, it was Symphony 9. Like you go to PWG Symphony
Mhm.
9, he goes around the world and he does NXT UK and NXT. It's Symphony 9.
Yeah.
So the fact that Walter and Mercedes have the same thing, but like Vince was just like, no, you have to change it, and so that's why he has that thing now.
I kind of like that one now.
Gunther's?
Yeah, I kind of
Yeah,
like it.
it grew on
Growing
me.
on me. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that was my only like gripe with her coming
Yeah.
back was that theme just does not. I
Yeah.
mean, she wants to get the crowd chants.
Mm-hmm. And it worked.
So
Off rip.
yeah, you see the letters on the stage and you're just like, oh, okay. And then
And on the back of the big coat, and in her wig.
she had an amazing wig.
Right?
When that inevitably happens when her and Britt Baker wrestle, there's gonna be dueling chants. CEO DMD, CEO DMD.
Oh,
That's what's
that's
gonna
gonna be
happen.
fun. Oh, that's gonna be so good. Oh God. I was surprised. She's immediately showing her impact. Like, I'm here. And the first match was actually Wardlow and Joe, and it was a championship match. You would expect the championship match to finish the show, but she's like, "That's real great, but I'm the most important thing going on tonight, so I'm gonna book end the show, and so the ladies have to be at the end." Okay, I'm most important for now.
Well, I mean, I think they did that. It was kind of a smart thing to do because if you're getting new viewers, then you want them to see like the prize.
Yes.
Which is that belt.
Very much so, yeah.
It's a smart thing to do. They just didn't get the ratings that they wanted, but it worked for me. I
would have cared more to get the crowd there involved, because apparently a lot of what's been going on is that Tony, because he actually sold out Wembley, thinks he can sell at everything all the time and goes after venues and just shouldn't necessarily go after. It makes much more sense to go after a small venue that you can pack out, have a big loud crowd, than a large venue that you maybe don't necessarily get totally filled out. And for me, like Dynamite, that was all about the crowd. It was all about it being Boston, about it being about Mercedes. It was purely about the energy there. And I don't super pay attention to ratings because me, I'm there watching it all the time. I always have that shit on. So I don't care when people are and aren't watching. I think it's interesting to look at it from that perspective, but I also don't care because I'm watching that whole bitch all the way into the end. I find it interesting that she went back with kind of reference Willow, and the podcast I was listening was talking about how the fans might not necessarily know that her and Willow have history because they hadn't seen that match. And I'm like, I didn't see it either, but I know that it happened.
Yeah,
like,
that's the match that she hurt herself in.
Exactly. Like, just because we didn't see, if you didn't see her New Japan matches and you didn't, and that was kind of dumb also, them mentioning or saying that they didn't talk about the connection between Willow and Mercedes that night in any kind of, commentary or video package kind of way. But then when Willow won that belt, they did talk about it on that night. They did, and they did have her come out with that belt and did say that she had won it over Mercedes. So if you're paying attention, you remember it. You know what I mean? I don't necessarily think you need to have that. You need to do a video package. Do you think they should have found some other way to like bring that together?
No, because I think that's what the subsequent video packages are going to be about. Is
exactly, And then she had that, the interview with Renee. I don't know if they talked about it there because I only got a couple minutes in. I was like, oh, this bitch is 8 minutes. I'll come back. They probably mentioned it there.
I think the interview might have came out later, but yeah, they
Yeah,
had the
maybe a day later or something like that.
yeah,
Yeah.
because I know she did the press, and then they introduced her at the Celtics game. I mean, to be honest, she's the biggest female star on the roster off rip.
No question. Yeah. Is she the biggest star period that they have? Who's
No,
the
I
bigger
think.
star?
Well, for right now, they're just
Mhm.
playing it out. But I mean,
Mhm.
Swerve's ultimately going to be the guy.
Oh yeah.
Like barring injury or anything, like he's
Yeah.
clearly the next up, and
Mhm.
like none of the four pillars really worked out the way they did. Like they're just good wrestlers. I mean,
Yeah, that was a
one
fun match. I enjoyed it.
Sammy Guevara has the
Oh,
allegations, or
now
I
I
don't even know
remember.
allegations. Like I guess he said something that was weird, and then everybody was just like, "I hate Sammy now." Then you have Darby, and then you have Jungle Boy, who's the reason why WrestleMania this year almost got fucked up.
Real glass. Crushing the abdomen. Don't cry me a river.
And then you have MJF, who's just his
Oh, I miss
character all the
him.
time.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
true. Just his character.
I actually know how you feel. Because there once was a time when nobody believed in me. Nobody was willing to give me a chance. Everybody told me I was too small and that I was going to amount to nothing in wrestling. But that's why I worked twice as hard. I wanted to prove everybody wrong.
Back to our Lord and Savior Mercedes. She said, "I'm home," which is obviously, home where she, came from, her hometown, and at her new home in AEW, but also getting to be acknowledged as the hometown kid in a way she didn't get to over at the E. Did they have her lose horribly every time she was in Boston?
Yes. No, that's what they do, where you
For
lose
everybody.
in your
Yeah,
hometown.
exactly. Yeah.
It's a weird thing that Vince McMahon just decided to do all of a sudden. Like, you're gonna lose
And
in your
Hunter's
hometown.
carrying it on. My goodness, why? Was it like a big match though?
One of them was Hell in the Cell. She lost to Charlotte in Hell in the Cell. Yeah, that's when she main evented. Was that Hell in the Cell? Yeah,
God.
that's what she says in the promo, where it's like, "I main evented here."
Yeah. You not only lose, but you lose big.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you think that they would have gotten more of what they wanted if they had just said, "Yes, Mercedes Money will be here"?
A little bit more. I
Yeah.
feel like, I mean, everyone, the people who knew, but if you're not really into professional wrestling, like if you're a casual fan or a child, like you're not gonna be on fucking squared
Yeah.
circle all the time, so you don't know
Mhm.
what's going on.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, those of us who knew, the second he said, "Hey, this is my announcement," I thought the announcement was going to be Mercedes is going to come on. But no, he said, "We're going to be in Boston," which was code for Mercedes Mone anyway. Oh, what you were right about was her opening the show.
Mhm.
So we have to keep track of what you're right about.
I don't know. Like,
There's got to be a list.
Let's get an official document going.
Yeah.
All the times Drew was right.
Yeah, you should write that down, producer.
It's got to be called something. I don't know. It's got to be something cute. And we'll start it with this one. I forget what you were right about before, but we'll start it with this one because I remember this one. And what I'd hoped at the time when it was clear that Jade had gotten through everyone she could get through there, and I think this was before Mercedes got injured and there was talk about her coming over to AEW. I kind of hoped that she would show up and she would drop to her, which I thought was so great. And are they putting her in the TBS championship picture right now? And by the way, I was so jealous of Sky Blue. If I were Sky Blue, I'd be like, "Oh my God, Mercedes is going to hit me in the face."
It's
And
like
her
Sky Blue.
getting to be across the ring from the little brand new baby that Julia Hart is. I thought it was so great. It's such a deliberate choice, I think, for her to start working with the kind of It's not a mid-card belt exactly. Well, how would you term it? Because
well, it's whoever wins the belt. With that company, it's whoever wins the belt.
yeah.
If Mercedes wins, that's the belt.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the Tony Storm thing is cool, you know. It's whatever. Like, I've also watched TMC, so I get it. But it's that weird thing where they can't, like, Mercedes can't beat Tony Storm because Tony Storm gets too many cheers now. So Tony Storm's going to have to lose it to somebody, and then that person is going to have to lose it to Mercedes for this to even work.
Yes.
Because,
who's it going to be, though? Do you think they'll
because-
take it all the way to All In for Jamie Hayter to show up? Because that's a long time for Tony to be holding on to the belt with this particular gimmick.
Well, I mean,
I'm gonna wait.
it could be All In,
Mhm.
or it could be Double or
Double or
Nothing.
Nothing. Yeah.
Double or no. All In is their WrestleMania, so Double
Yeah.
or Nothing is their SummerSlam.
Double or Nothing's in May, right?
Yeah,
And All In is in August.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. It'll probably have to be May though, because I don't think that they can. And then I think that inserting Mercedes into the Tony Storm, Mariah May thing probably wouldn't have worked. And I think it's smart to have her go in the other direction. I
Yeah,
like
she's
that
too
they
popular.
immediately said, hey, by the way, Mercedes is booking this show, Die Mad. But what does that mean going forward for the women's division? There was some talk about how in the last maybe 4 or 5 weeks, they've been focusing more on the women to kind of jumpstart or kind of lay a foundation for Mercedes to come in. I kind of disagree with that. I agree that they've been doing the work to show the women a little bit more, but I don't think it got to the point where it needed to be for her to come in. So what do you think we'll see in the next 2 or 3 weeks? She wasn't on Collision, which I guess means she's just going to be on Dynamite.
Well, what's going to happen is there's going to be 2 women's matches a night because they can't afford to not have that. They have to have some sort of buzz going on with the women's division, because now the women's division is the bathroom break, and that's where it shouldn't be. So she's clearly the biggest star in that entire field.
Yeah.
Like, no ifs, ands, or buts. Like, Britt Baker is not her. Like,
No.
stop it.
No. Mm-mm.
It's not even fucking close. So you're
Britt
just
hasn't
gonna
even been around in a while.
yeah, you're just gonna have to deal. Like,
Yeah.
everyone is just gonna have to be like, look, this is our big star. Anywhere she goes, that's where it's at. Like,
Yeah.
Tony Storm will do her,
Her
1,
thing.
2.
Mhm.
You will have Mercedes and what she does, which will be infinitely more important than what Tony Storm does.
I thought the Tony Storm thing was funny. The Tony Awards, but Tony
Yeah.
with an I, so that we don't get sued. I thought that was very funny. And her coming out dressed as old school Tony.
Yes.
They almost got.
Yeah,
But
like,
how long do we wait to see Mercedes in the ring? Because next week we're just going to hear from her. So how long do we wait to see her in the ring? And who do they put up for the first person to?
if you see her in the ring, I'm pretty sure, like, in the next, like, 2 after that,
Mhm.
it's going to be like, hey, this is the in-ring debut of
Mhm.
Mercedes.
Yeah, you're gonna make a big deal about it.
Yeah,
Who do you think it's gonna be? Ooh, could be Willow.
I think it'll be that tag team match. It's going to have to be.
Interesting.
Yeah, like, it's a way to put somebody over without, like, having them pin. So, like, if Mercedes and Willow win that match, then you could set up the other match to show, like, oh, they're viable opponents against each other. Boom.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, I mean, as long as you don't fucking job out Trisha Dora or fucking
Right?
Queen Aminata.
I was like, please don't do that.
Like, hey, who's a black female wrestler? Let's job her out.
Right. Yeah.
Because my car is at this level right here, y'all.
But what do you
I
need to
wanna
take
do,
it to?
I gotta take it. How? That's what I want. That's all I'm talking about. But I want to ask you, how does one go about getting such a name as extinct? How you do that?
It's exhibit.
Okay,
What are you laughing at?
Right. See, I was gonna ask him.
Speaking of SmackDown, were we supposed to see Taz on SmackDown? Why did he keep talking about Memphis, and then we didn't even see them? And I was looking around for a clip. Was there a backstage thing? What happened? Did The Rock do it again?
They said The Rock actually went 30 seconds under. They just didn't properly book the show. And it's weird because you saw that report that The Rock has heat backstage about him cursing on his IG promos. I'm like, first of all, he's one of the 3 movie stars in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
He does not give a fuck about some backstage heat. Go somewhere with that bullshit. Like wrestlers.
Wait, the other wrestlers backstage don't want him to swear on social media?
Yeah, well, there's executives online saying like he's getting backstage heat. Like,
whatever.
If you've never opened up a #1 movie, shut the fuck up. Like he's getting paid $30 million a year for a reason. Stop pretending like, oh man,
that's so
well,
stupid.
I'm mad at The Rock. Like, he could literally fire you. Like he has that much pull now.
That's the fucking joke. That's the whole gimmick. I'm the boss. I'm the boss of all of you. Of course I can swear.
Yes, he literally is the boss.
So I'm looking at a wrestling headlines article. The Great One has not been afraid to speak his mind on WWE programming, especially when taking shots at Cody Rhodes and the Cody Crybabies. Oh gosh. The final boss. Yes, the final boss has called audience members crack addicts.
The final boss is pretty cute. I like that actually. Whoever came up with that, kudos.
My god.
So there's a wrestler who's like really famous named Mako Satomura.
Mm-hmm.
She wrestled for years. Like she's on one of the first episodes of Nitro. Japanese wrestler, respected around the world. They had her come in for the Mae Young Classic, and then she wrestled in NXT UK. Her nickname was the Final Boss. So no one told The Rock that. And he just like,
it's not as if he can't use it anyway.
oh no,
imagine
he owns
if someone
everything.
said that
He's
to
fine.
him. He'd be, oh, that's cute. But I'm me and I can use it.
Fuck your story.
Pretty much, because like apparently, so The Rock shared a clip of his last comment revealing that certain people behind the scenes are unhappy with his raunchy content, but states that he'd rather be real than be phony. Quote, "You sound like somebody The Rock can love, drunk and horny. Networks and standards and practices have issues with my language, but I'd rather be real than not. I talk from the heart, shoot from the hip, and try to always have fun. Enjoy the Rock concert."
The Rock concert. He came out and I saw that kind of black carpet thing in the ring. I was like, oh, here we go. Some 20-minute shit. Okay, great. All right, cool. Whatever. But I do like that entrance he's got with the lightning. That shit is cool. Was it that they used it before? Because people were talking Hollywood Rock and all that. Is this entrance he's been using now? Did they use it before?
Well, the theme is now more is old Hollywood Rock, where the theme of The Rock is the original Nation of Domination theme.
Yeah.
But they added like more to it, like when he went on his own, and then the Hollywood Rock is everything is just like goes longer and just unnecessary. It's longer. Like that's the theme. A cool thing that they do with the Titantron is when the Rock is face, the eyes of the bull are blue, but when he's healed, the eyes of the bull are red. So that's
really,
it's a really interesting thing that they do. I just like the lightning too because it's just like, God damn it, one way or another, you're gonna appreciate fucking Black Adam, where I make you or not.
I'm electrifying, and that was electrifying.
It was the biggest movie of all time. All right, don't look at the numbers or anything about it. Just understand when I say it's the biggest fucking movie of all time, it's the biggest fucking movie of all time.
And I'm the biggest of all time. I'm the
It's like,
final boss.
it's like fuck Mako Satomura. I'm the final boss.
Oh my god.
Talked about Ja Morant, which was hilarious, and
Did.
which is also
They
funny.
always have to talk about their most, whatever like city they go to, they have to talk about the most popular sports book person from there, either to big him up or to tear him down.
It's funny because somebody was just like, was just like, damn, Ja's catching strays, and then
He
Ja
is.
Morant quote retweeted, he's like, why you say fuck me for?
Why am I in it?
And I'm like, oh my god, wrestling is popular. Fucking Ja
Right?
Morant is
Yeah.
tweeting about it.
Isn't he still like a super long suspension?
No,
Or
he
is he injured?
he came back from the 25-game suspension,
Okay.
then played about 3 weeks, then tore his rotator cuff.
Oh shit.
And that man's luck is like this past year has not been great. Like one of the most exciting players in basketball.
Yeah.
And then it like
Leave the
this is
blicky at home.
just like, no, fuck, just don't turn on Instagram Live. Like that's the real thing. It's
I hope
funny
he was
be-
working during that suspension.
I
And not
mean, like
hanging around.
the man has his own shoe, so like he's fine. Like he has his
I
own
mean,
Nike
working
shoe.
because maybe the injury was just a luck thing, but I feel like if you're in shape and keeping up with whatever you're supposed to be keeping up with, maybe it's less likely you'll get injured coming right out the box.
Yeah, like I mean, he was fine. It's just like it was just bad luck.
Yeah.
Which also leads me to another point with the Rock concert. The crowd was singing "Whoop That Trick."
Yes. Did you notice that?
Yeah,
I was
so
like, they talking about someone who ain't even called up yet. Ooh, love it.
not necessarily. So what happened is in Memphis, and this is like a really big deal in Memphis. I have friends on Twitter. Shout out to Candy. There's a rapper named Al Capone, and he wrote the song "Whoop That Trick."
Oh, okay.
He's from Memphis, so that was adopted as the rally cry for Memphis, like the Memphis Grizzlies team. After the movie came out, like he came out with that song in like 2004, and then the movie came out in 2005, and then all that other stuff. And it's funny because like during the Golden State playoff run, there was a reporter because they would always play that like to hype up the crowds, "Whoop That Trick," and then the reporter basically made up some shit that was saying like,
asked Stephen Curry what the plan was tonight, and he just turned around and looked at me and said, "Whoop that trick. That is our game plan."
And it was
Tonight we're going to whoop that trick.
it was unfounded. Like it did not actually fucking happen. It was just one of those things where you're just like, the fuck you make up this lie for? And so they ended up getting massacred in that game. They lost by like 40 or some shit. And then one of the dancers was walking up to Draymond Green, swinging the towel as the crowd would whoop that trick. And Draymond Green's like, all right, shit, then I'll do it too. And he's just swaying the towel. And then the Warriors ended up beating them in the next game.
Oh my God. Draymond had fun.
But now I think I've learned to not have to do that, like to get myself going. And I think that's just growing with age and mature. But once somebody go there, I don't know how to stop. Like,
oh, we know. Your mixtape this year been crazy.
the one with Buddy from the Lakers. Oh, Bando.
I said, bro, he having too much fun, bro. Fuck out of here.
But check this out, though. Answer this question for me.
I'm going to list where you can find us on the socials. We are on TikTok at Home Wrestling League. Our Twitter is at @the_HWL, and on Instagram, where we post weekly. We are at home_wrestling_league. I love a good underscore. One day we'll come up with some sort of ending, but we don't have one.